Hey, what's up, you guys? Todd Falcone. Welcome to toddfalcone.com, and wanted to talk to you today about how to be a better speaker. So seems lately I've had a lot of people asking me, a lot of coaching clients asking me about how to improve their speaking skills. And while I don't specifically teach how to be a better speaker, I speak for a living, so I can definitely speak from the heart when it comes to how to improve your speaking skills. So as a network marketer, as an entrepreneur, it's a very high likelihood that you're going to be asked to speak, that you're going to be asked to train, to present. And in fact, that's something you want to be doing. As a leader, you're going to be running conference calls, webinars, trainings, asking to be speaking at your national conference, Super Saturdays, whatever. And you definitely want to dial in your speaking skills. I realize that some people are thinking, oh my gosh, I don't ever want to speak. I'm afraid to speak. In fact, it's the greatest fear that most people have is public speaking, but there is a way to get past it, and I do think it's really important for you to do that. Number one, so I'll give you a few different tips. Number one is, if you're going to get better as a speaker, you need to speak. So even if you haven't been asked to speak, volunteer to speak. Any opportunity that you can, give a testimonial, tell your story on a conference call, on a Zoom, whatever it is. Take introductions on a webinar, assist in doing a Super Saturday training. Any opportunity that is out there that enables you to get in front of a group of people and actually talk is going to help you become a better speaker. You can't become a better speaker without actually speaking. So if you're not yet in that position where you're being requested, you can always volunteer. It's something that you can do. And leaders in your organization, your upline, if you said, hey, can I take introductions on the call, or can I assist in the presentation? A lot of people will be very eager to see you stepping up and wanting to actually speak. So that's number one. Number two is only talk about content that you're familiar with. So I would never get up on stage and talk about how to knit a sweater. I don't have a clue how to knit, and I certainly don't have a clue on how to knit a sweater. So whatever you're doing when you're about ready to present, or whatever it is that you're speaking on, make sure that it's content that's easy for you to talk about. I would never get on stage and talk about something that I wasn't entirely comfortable with. So make sure that, in fact, I've been invited in a few occasions, hey, can you speak about this? And it's not my level of expertise or my area of expertise, so I say, no, I can't, because it's not what I do. So again, number one is speak. Number two is make sure that you actually know what the heck you're talking about. Number three is using visual aids. So for example, a visual aid may be just for you. So if you're doing a conference call, for example, and you're going to give a 15-minute training, the visual aid for you in this case may be a handful of bullet points that enable you to stay on track, to stay on target. I would never jump on a conference call and talk for 30 minutes or an hour without having specific bullet points about what I'm going to be talking about. So it keeps you on track. If you're giving a presentation live, like on a webinar, or you're doing it in a live presentation, using a PowerPoint or a keynote presentation is also a great visual aid, because it enables you to stay on track and do things in a sequential order so that you're not losing sight of what you're there to speak on. Because it can be very easy to start talking about something and run on and run on and run on, and the next thing you know, you're out of time and you didn't even get to your point. So having visual aids is good for you. It's good for your audience as well. One thing about visual aids I think is really important is that if and when you use a keynote presentation or a PowerPoint presentation, that it's not just all of this stuff that's on a page. Like I've seen a lot of people present and they're basically reading from the slide. So if you've ever seen me speak, you might see a sentence or a bullet point, and then I'll talk about that bullet point for maybe 5 to 7 minutes or something like that. So it's just really to keep you on track, on target. And then in terms of me sharing this whole idea of little 5-minute chunks of content, there's a trainer that I had access to years ago that talked about content chunks. And it's a great way to look at a presentation. For example, let's say you're invited to do a 30-minute presentation at your Super Saturday. and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I got 30 minutes or even 20 minutes. Wow, that might seem scary because you're looking at the 20-minute presentation as a 20-minute presentation. Instead, what you do is you figure out what it is you're going to be talking about. Let's say you're going to be talking about warm market prospecting as an example. Well, if you looked at warm market prospecting as a 20-minute presentation, it might seem like, wow, that's really a lot. Well, what am I going to say? But if you bullet it out into little 5-minute chunks, you could do 4 5-minute chunks, and that would equate to your 20-minute presentation. And it makes the presentation a lot easier to give because now you're not looking at it as this 20-minute presentation as just 4 5-minute segments that you're giving. Maybe it's the opening, a few points, point 1, point 2, point 3, and then your close. And that's very, very effective in helping you to put together a presentation that doesn't seem so overwhelming. For a brand new person getting up on stage for even 20 minutes, it might seem like a lot, but the reality is 20 minutes goes by very, very quickly. And better for you to have it chunked out into maybe 3 to 5 or 7-minute segments, which makes giving the presentation a whole lot easier. So again, speak. You can't get better at speaking unless you speak. So volunteer to speak if you haven't volunteered. Now it's different than I need to have the microphone. Give me the microphone, and you got to have some qualifications to actually get up on the platform or speak in front of an audience. You have to have something worthy of sharing. So if you're brand new and you say, give me the microphone, I need to have the microphone, that's probably not exactly the best routine. But if you've got some experience, you've got some success, you've got some value to share, that's the time when you need to step up and volunteer. Look, I'd be willing to train, or just invite yourself to present. And your leaders are very eager to hear that. They're like, wait, I got somebody on my team that wants to present, that wants to share, wants to contribute. So you're also seen as a high value person in an organization when you're saying, look, I want to contribute to this event, I want to contribute to the content. If there's any way that I can help, I'm happy to. So just remember that. So volunteering to speak, knowing what you're going to be talking about, giving yourself some visual aids, and then of course you need to be practicing. Anytime I give a presentation, regardless of how many times I've given the presentation, if I'm in my hotel room, like I was just in Budapest, Hungary this last week, and even though I've given the presentation, most of those points over and over again, I looked at my slide presentation and I rehearsed it and I went through it. I didn't need to necessarily do it out loud, but I looked at the presentation. I went, okay, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, and went through it before I ever gave the presentation. That way I'm not standing in front of 1,500 people like I was last week and not entirely sure what my slide is going to say or what the next slide is going to say. So those are some very simple things that you can do to be a better speaker. And again, as a network marketing professional, it's a very, very high likelihood that you are going to be doing some presenting. It's part of what we do in this business. I realize a lot of people get in this business like, I'm never going to be on stage, I'm not going to speak. But I said that to myself early on. I didn't want to speak, I didn't want to be on stage. But it is part of the growth process. It's part of the journey of achieving success in network marketing that, we're presenting every day anyhow. You're presenting your opportunity, you're presenting your products. A lot of times it might be one-on-one, but there's going to be an opportunity, many opportunities in fact, for you to do so in a group environment. So it's important for you to start to dial in those skills and work on it. You can be an incredible speaker if you work on becoming an incredible speaker. So I appreciate you guys for plugging in. We'll see you on another video, and love to hear your comments or feedback. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.